What's
Good morning.
happening?
We're
What's
back with another
happening?
one, man. Welcome to another No Stingy Energy show, man. What's up, Byron? You
Yes,
back, man? What's
indeed.
going on?
Yeah, man, I'm back, man. I had a lot going on with the family, but we sorting that out. And I lost a real one. My dad passed away last week, and you know, one thing I always like to lead with, man. I had a phenomenal dad growing up. Oh, and yeah, bro. I had a phenomenal dad. And I ain't just saying it because he's my dad. You literally can go and ask anybody in the neighborhood, any of the kids that grew up in the neighborhood, any of the adults that grew up in it, and they'll tell you that he was a giver. He looked out for people. He helped mentor and he was there for the whole neighborhood, bro. Like I ain't had one of them dads that was just there for us when we went to go eat
Neighborhood
McDonald's.
hero.
Yeah, everybody came through, bro. So, uh, rest in peace to my dad, Bruce Holman. I love you, and I know that heaven is rejoicing right now in his presence because when I tell you he was a good soul, definitely a great soul. So I just want to put that out there. But yeah, man, we here, man. Listen, my name is Byron, real estate investor out of Houston, Texas, primarily focused on the wholesale space, do a little bit of creative finance, fix and flip, new construction, new to the build to rent space. Definitely excited about that, man. Actually moving closer and closer to my frame, and it's been raining for the last couple of weeks, bro. So it's been hard to even
Yeah,
move my project, bro. It's horrible.
it's been
It's been
raining. It's
raining
been
and
cold. It's
cold.
been freezing. It's been
Yeah,
nasty.
man, raining and cold, so I haven't been able to get anything new up. But we just getting this thing started. Shout out to Kiki, Tasha, Leah. Appreciate y'all for the condolences. Appreciate everybody that's been reaching out. I had a lot of people reach out, and I appreciate every single one of the people who have reached out through these times. I did kind of go blank for a little bit, but I'm back, baby. I'm back, and we got the funeral going on this weekend, Saturday, and so looking forward to seeing all of the beautiful faces that I haven't seen in a while on that. But yeah, man, it's on you. Oh, we got a lot to talk about today, man.
Yeah, we got a lot to talk about, man. It's gonna be a great conversation, man. It's gonna be a great conversation. But good morning, everybody. O'Neill Parker, real estate investor, entrepreneur out of Lafayette, Louisiana. I've been investing in real estate since 2016. Full-time entrepreneur since 2020. Do all things real estate, but love passive income, love rentals, and excited. I'm excited about what's coming to the real estate space, and interest rates getting a little lower. That makes everybody a bit more excited. And I'm also the owner of Leverage 12, teaching people how to leverage. They are currently life real estate. That's me. Yeah, man, let's get it, man. We gotta, some people say the title a little trigger. What's your thoughts, man? Put in the comments. We just got women in the comments. Man. Ain't got no men here no more.
Yeah, man. You know, um, I'm here's the thing. Oh, I'm hearing a lot of things on social media that's being promoted. And I would
What's
say
the
that
things
a
you
lot of it,
hearing, bro?
yeah, a lot of it is essentially a lot of rhetoric centered around putting women's potential back in a box, right? And it's limiting information, and this is the scariest part about it. Oh, what I'm witnessing, right? I'm seeing a lot of women even comply to a certain degree with it, and I think the compliance, some of it is fake compliance, in my opinion. I believe some of it is fake compliance, and then the other piece of it is I think that it is um I think that it could also be harmful to a certain degree. I think it could be harmful. And the reason why I think it can be harmful is because that ship has already sailed, bro. And this
What you
not,
mean the ship is
I like to lead with data. It's not my opinion. It's not my opinion. The ship of the woman sitting at home and only doing household chores and, tending to kids, which that is a phenomenal job, probably one of the most valuable jobs. But the
one of
truth
the
is,
hardest
bro,
jobs.
yeah, it is. It's a dope job. Shout out to all of the women who do that job. But the truth is, bro, that is not what the data does not say that is where most women are. Most women want to be. Most women are headed. That's not what the data is saying. And when I'm listening to the rhetoric and I'm looking at the data, I'm seeing a mismatch. I'm seeing a dramatic mismatch too. It's not even like a little bit. What's your thoughts on
A lot
that?
of it. Well, most times we think something that's not the truth.
Yeah.
You know what? When I was younger, I thought everybody made some money, man. Even the people at McDonald's, I thought they was 40K, 50K a year. Look at the stats, man. The stats don't say that. If you
Stats
look
don't
on
say
social
that.
media, everybody look rich. Stats don't say that. So the same with this. You think a lot of these women happy in these situations they're in. They're not. That's it. It ain't true. And at the end of the day, you can't go off of what you feel and what you think. You got to go off with the truth. Truth is, they're not happy, bro. That's how I feel about it, Byron. You can't put emotions
So
in it. We just got to read the facts. It's there.
I'm a big proponent, right, of having real and honest relationship and conversation, right? Now, when I'm looking at the landscape of relationships right now and how we're watching these wars kind of take place between which roles people are going to take, men and women, all of these different things. I'm watching these uh social media wars take place, right? I'm thinking to myself, just wonder if maybe the fact that women are not fitting this stereotypical role, men are trying to push women into this role. Women are acting as if they're open to accepting this role, but the stats say that they're not accepting this role. And the fact that men are pushing women into this role, I wonder if that is creating some level of imbalance, right? Because nobody's being real, right? I believe every great relationship has to be built on a real foundation or it will crumble. Have you ever heard anything like that, Oh?
Correct. Correct. A lot of relationships are built on a false foundation. That's why the divorce rate shooting up.
It's crazy.
You know? Yeah.
So, obviously, we love to lead with the data, right? As to how this is taking place and why I believe this narrative, in my opinion, is potentially dangerous. I think it's dangerous, bro. Because we are too far gone and I don't see it changing. So this is what we want to do. If anybody is open to joining in on this discussion, because I definitely want to get some folk to join in on this discussion today. If you are free to join in, definitely tap in with us because
Love to hear
I
it.
want to hear your opinion. Oh, we got Bam Bam in the
That's real
building.
good.
He said, "Yeah, communication is the true issue. One person thinking their vision is the same." Exactly. So, Bam Bam, definitely want to get you in on this conversation. Get your take on this. It's funny. I was talking to O, and we were talking about how a lot of the traditional relationships are still taking place, but you typically see those in more of the rural, kind of, country areas, you know what
Country
I'm saying?
time.
Yeah, country towns But once you move into the city, that starts to rapidly dissipate. I was about to say slowly dissipate. Actually, it rapidly dissipates. And again, this is just based on the numbers, not my opinion, right? So I definitely want to get your opinion on this. So if anybody want to join in, definitely hit the link. Bam Bam said, I do live in the country. Hey, you know what, Bam Bam?
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie to you. That's where a lot of the traditional stuff is still taking place. And if you want that, I believe that it's possible in some of the smaller towns, the more rural towns. Once you move into the city, you're looking at a different reality. Why you think that is? Oh?
Bam, man. I told that man, the countrymen, they built different, bro.
Yeah.
Like I'm saying, bro, like men from the country, they know how to get out the mud for real.
Yeah.
Boys from the city, man, like I told Byron yesterday, you call 5 of them to change the tire, shit. 3 of them gonna call AAA. 4 of them probably call AAA.
That's a fact.
And the 5th one maybe not to change the tire, but man from the country, man, that tire changed. It's out the car, on the car. Y'all back in the car in 5-10 minutes. Change the battery. Ain't, you know what I'm saying? My battery did. Well, go to the, what you call that? Armstrong, whatever that thing called. What is it called? Firestone. All right, what I'm going to do with the battery? They don't know how to use their hands. They don't know how to fix nothing. So, you know what I'm saying? Countrymen built different. And we was talking about a lot of men that's from the country, their wife don't work. Like for me, growing up, my grandma didn't work. Both my grandmothers didn't work. And my mom always had the option to work. And then I guess that transitioned to me. My wife hasn't worked since she was 23. So when he said that, I was like, man, yeah, he's kind of right. Now we lived in Houston, LA, Detroit. It may not be the same thing. I don't know. Probably not.
Nah, it's a high likelihood it wouldn't be, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. It's a high likelihood that would not be the reality. I know that for me, my wife she's had bouts where she's not worked, but for the most part, I think she's happier when she is working. So I don't give her nothing, about that. I let her do what makes her happy. But I want to move into some of these stats. So matter of fact, before we do that, do you think, if a woman is looking to find that husband, right? Because a lot of women think, I'm gonna move to Houston, I'm gonna move to Atlanta, or I'm gonna go move to LA. Do you think that woman would have more luck if she moved to Baton Rouge, Louisiana, or Shreveport?
Yeah, you go to the big city, you're going to have a good time. That's what you're going for. You going for a good time. Everybody trying to turn up. They ain't trying to get married. Yeah, wow. You got a better chance, going to a smaller city for sure.
Is it TG says 100%. In my area, the average home price is $500K. Wages stagnant since the 70s. The reality is most cannot afford a traditional marriage. We need 2 incomes to survive and live in multifamily. Hey, you know what? That's another issue with being in the city, right? So if you look at Houston, right? If you look at Houston, I'm always looking at housing prices. And one thing I've noticed is the dramatic increase in properties value, right? I mean, it's not even, when I'm talking about dramatic increase in I'm going to show you something real quick. I'm going to show you a quick stat.
Check it out.
And this right here is alarming. I'm just showing you what is taking place here in Houston right now. I don't know if you guys.
I know y'all prices is crazy,
bro. Look at this right here.
I used to look at the watch. I used to look at it in 2008, 9, and 10.
This is a house that I was looking at yesterday. I was checking out a house and looking at it as an investment opportunity because the property doesn't cash flow. But look at the value increase. In 2019. I could literally go pick this property up for $67,000 in 2019. How many years ago was that? 5 years ago.
That's when it started going crazy. 5 years ago.
Look at this. 5 years ago, I could literally buy this house, right? It's a small house, nothing fancy at all. It needs a full rehab, all of the things. Look at this. In 2020, that property went from 67,000 to 82,000. In 2021, it went up to 105,000. Then it went up to 121,000. Now it's sitting at, listen to me, 150,000. This is the tax value. This is not the actual value.
It's way more than that. The tax value is way cheaper. This property is probably worth about 220, probably.
So when you live in a city where you're witnessing rapid growth, is it feasible to put women or focus on trying to put that woman back in the box? When you like the lady was just saying in the chat, you're looking at 500,000, right, for the average home in the area. Average home. So we're gonna dive deep on this and see, what the reality of this thing is saying. I want to hear. We got my guy Darby in the building. I definitely got to get him in. Bam Bam in the building. Shout out my guy Bam Bam. Bam Bam, what's your thoughts on what we talking about today? I know you live in the country, so your perspective.
Yeah, I'm a little country, man. You know how it is, but it's a complex situation because we actually started my wife not working because we didn't have the money for daycare. You know what I'm saying? You got daycare, you over here paying $500, $600, $700 a month. We ain't had it. So she had to sacrifice being home and I had to go get a paycheck.
That's smart.
But
yeah. I did that math too. I was like, man, you might as well stay home.
Yeah, them little badass kids. I wasn't staying home. Like,
hell no.
I can't stay at home. No power to it. Yeah, that's a punishment. When I get home, I ain't trying to be with them either. I'm gonna hit them up. Yeah, we got that little hour. You did play with y'all for an hour and leave me the hell alone.
That is hilarious. That is hilarious. So tell me this, Bam Bam.
That's real though.
Yeah, it is. It is. Tell me this, Bam Bam. So when you looking at a situation to where, that's $700 a month. That's crazy. That is crazy. $700 a month is damn near like a whole salary. So tell me this, Bam Bam. What'd you say?
That's a house thing.
Yeah,
the value of the house.
At least a solid VA salary. I ain't gonna lie to you. So tell me this, Bam Bam. When y'all made that assessment, so you did it based on financial reasons. It was based on financial reasons for you. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. And but it wasn't economic. It wasn't economic for you. It was economic for you, but it wasn't just because you were trying to say, okay, my lady need to be at home.
No, I wanted it at home too because my mom always was a stay-at-home mom, and it wasn't the fact that I don't want her out there working. It was like I want my kids to have somebody at home.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. I don't want both of their parents to always be out grinding for a paycheck, and if somebody got sacrificed, I'd rather it be me because I feel like kids that grow up with at least one parent around them a lot more. You know what I'm saying? They got better chances at success, and they kind of understand your family values and traditions and your morals compared to going out there and letting just any average person spend more time with your kids than you do. Now they learning from that family. They living, you know what I'm saying? They coming off their traditions.
That's a fact.
Right.
That's a fact. So how do we navigate this? How do we navigate this successfully, in your opinion, when we're looking at especially in the city? Let's talk to my city folk real quick. What would you think would be the appropriate way to navigate a situation where you got, I know here in Houston, I think the average home price is probably sitting somewhere around in the 300,000s, right? At this point.
Shit, you ain't gonna like mine. You ain't gonna like mine, but
I am gonna like it. I'm gonna like it. Talk about it.
Well, you gotta look at it. If the average house price is, what you said, 300?
It's probably about 300. Let me see what the average. Let me get the facts on that. You know, I like to get the facts. Let me see average.
Yeah, but let's just talk about the facts of it. You don't have to live there. That's a choice to live there. You can move 30 minutes away.
Yeah.
You can move an hour away. So at the end of the day, if you can't afford where you want to live, that means you don't need to live there. Just go move a little bit further out where it's more cheaper, and you can do a little bit more things.
That's why we didn't live in Charlotte. We moved on outskirts of Charlotte. It's about 45 minutes from Charlotte, but house is half the price there.
Come on, man. So I think there's a problem, Byron. People want things typically they can't afford. Maybe you need to sacrifice maybe 5-6 years, move somewhere more affordable, so you get more on your feet, you get in your career, you're making more money, then you go where you want to move. So I think the biggest thing is people need to figure out the difference between wants and needs. Just because you know you like the city life, don't mean you need to be there. Go ahead, B.
The average home price in Houston right now is $340,000. So $340,000 is the average home price here in Houston. And so, you know, so maybe you're right. Maybe somebody need to get the hell up out of there. Maybe you need to go.
Absolutely. The city life hard now. That's expensive, city bro. You got to think about the house is more expensive. Daycare is more expensive. More traffic. More competition for jobs. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can live 45 minutes away and still have the same lifestyle. You just got to drive a little longer. It's some level of sacrifice needs to be taken. I don't care what big city you're in. You got 30 more minutes, 45 more minutes. You get a whole lot bigger house, way more yard if you want yard. Your dog could actually stretch his legs outside. You know what I'm saying? Your kids could play in the backyard instead of going to the park. So, me personally, I think the lifestyle's better. Because you get more for less. That's just me, though.
Yeah.
But a lot of people like to see the big buildings and all that. And you rather your dog go use the bathroom on turf instead of real grass. I did. Nobody want to cut grass no more, Byron.
Nobody want to cut grass no more, man.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I'm not interested in that deal either, but I like some real grass.
We got my guy Darby in the building, man. I definitely want to get his take. Well, I don't know if his system is connected or not, but let's see if we get Darby in here, man. I would say this. When I think about it, I know that I know for my wife, she likes the city. You with us, Darby?
Yeah, I just wrote in.
What's going on,
man? For the most part, most women like the city, of course.
Well, you know, my wife like it because she feels like the suburbs are depressing. She feels like the suburbs are depressing, and she don't like being in an area where it's just not a lot of activity. She likes to be able to see, you know, people doing things, being happy. Yeah, just life taking place. Like she wants to be in a life zone, and a lot of times, man, when you in the suburbs, bro, it's just nothing to do in that area, and it ain't even about nothing to do. It's just not seeing a lot of activity can be depressing to some people.
Would you rather?
You know, now that I've gotten a chance to kind of live in the city, I like it, bro. It's motivating. It's motivating. It's just overall more fun. You got access to more things. It is more expensive, a lot more expensive, right? But then you also are able to take advantage of some of that appreciation too, from an investment standpoint, rapid appreciation. So it's, you know, it's just one of those things you got to take into consideration. Some people are, that's true.
I agree to that.
I agree with that. Yes, indeed.
What's your thoughts?
It's harder to find a wife in the city, man. It's harder to find.
It's very difficult. And a husband.
They all
a lot of options in that. Options and opportunity.
What's up, Darby? Good morning, man.
Good morning, fellas. Good to see you back, brother.
What you thought about this conversation, man?
So I kind of hopped on kind of late. However, from what I picked up, it's definitely it's a simpler life out in the country. But I think what happens is people they get stuck on the temporary, thinking it's forever, right?
Mm.
So it's the whole stay down until you can get up, type situation that people don't kind of plan on. They don't plan well. So I think the whole situation where people is like, you know what, let's go ahead and move out the country for, move out the city for 2 to 3 years so we can, get our bread up. Then we can move back, into the city as soon as we're stable. But I think people get stuck in complacency where, 2, 3 years, it turned to 5 or 6, and they get like a little weary, and they're like, I don't want to do this no more. They're scared of the sacrifice, because sacrifice doesn't have, necessarily a time limit sometimes. And I love being in the city. I promise you I do. I'll do anything to stay in the city. But if it came down to it, I'll go ahead and move 45 minutes out. But that's going to motivate me to get back to the situation I'm used to, because I like the fast pace. I like, the moving and grooving, because I'm just like you, Byron. It's inspiring. It's motivating. It makes me not lazy. If I was out in the country for years, I promise you I'd be lazy. I wouldn't want to do much. I probably have a farm or whatever, but I had to do something to keep me busy. But
Man, ain't nobody say it was farm country. Damn, Darby, you taking it extreme.
shut up, boy. I knew you were going to say something, boy. I drove
Yeah,
45 minutes out to your crib before.
And
took
you
it to
ain't
another
waiting no
level now.
traffic the whole time. You ain't hit no traffic the whole way out there, did you?
No, but I was scared. I was scared of damn police out there, because they sitting out. They bored. They waiting for to pull a nigga over.
We ain't
So
got to schedule a trip to Walmart off based off traffic.
whatever, dog. Whatever. Anywho, the thing is though, people just, I think it's just the social media era of what people think like the luxury life looks like in the city and so on and so forth, that keeps them out of wanting to stay down for a couple of years to make sure they stack their paper up and get to that point in life. So that's my point on what I've heard so far. But if y'all got any other topics to bring up, I'm more than welcome to answer.
Yeah, we actually getting rid of the transition.
Do
man.
you
We
ever
finna-
think it'll come back? What's your thoughts about that, Byron?
What's that?
Do you think we'll see that more? How families used to be. Dad stay at home. I mean, the mom stay at home and daddy go to work. You think that we
I
will
think,
rise up or go back,
I think
down?
we're gonna always see women who will, because I'd be damned if my wife is working while I got a newborn. I just don't want to see that. I don't want to see I don't want to see a woman sit working and then taking care of like some young kids at the same time.
You don't want her to have the baby, send the baby to daycare?
No, bro.
After
bro. Nah,
6
my
weeks?
baby is not going to no daycare, bro. That's not happening. We're gonna have to whatever we got to work out. We're working that out. Yeah, that's a no-go, bro. We got to figure something else out.
Man, you can't trust everybody with your kids.
No, man. No.
Yeah, man. These daycares get a little out of hand, dog.
Yeah, bro. I
They're
can't
overcrowded. They overcrowded, overworked, underpaid. They mad.
And
next thing you know, your kid getting bit by another kid in the class. You like, now I want to fight their dad. It's a lot going on. It's a lot going on. And, I've been there before. Where I was like, I took my kid to what I thought was her home school. But here in Charlotte, they call it Title I school, which is pretty much like a little poverty school. Orientation day. They over there playing. The teacher talking about the school, whatever. A little boy bit my daughter on the hand. I said, yeah, we ain't gonna be here. I transfer her immediately. School didn't even start.
I would hate that news. I would hate that news right there.
Mm-hmm.
The other piece of that too, Darby, is the sick. I mean, kids be sickly, bro. Like
every time,
all the time.
Every time they don't sanitize it. Even in these public schools, dog. You just got to make sure. Like, all right, I hope nobody get offended.
Man, say what you gotta say.
Yeah, I'm gonna say what I gotta say, and I hope this transitions really well to those folks. But it's the non-colored people who send their kids to school, however, and because my daughter goes to a predominantly white school just by happenstance, and some of the kids it'd be 30 degrees outside, and they got basketball shorts on with a t-shirt, nothing else, wiping their nose or whatever. It looked crazy. I'm just like, why? And the next thing you know, my daughter coming home from school sick, like crazy. And I'm like, come on, dog. Like, you know how we grew up, where they was like, you better put a hat on your head. You're walking out of the house with 3 layers of Vaseline on your face. You got you got long johns and some jeans on. You sweating in the inside. They made sure that you ain't go to school looking crazy. So, like I said, I hope I ain't offend nobody, but I hope your kids dress well in this weather.
Hey, they ain't got Medicaid though. That's why they ain't taking their kids to doctor. They send their ass to school.
That is hilarious. That is hilarious. But I want to know the answer to this question, right? Because we do have the God. We definitely got to get you. We got to get you.
Oh, we need to bring that up.
What's that?
I think he's watching a kid a gender role. Ooh, my God.
That's a good one. It's crazy, bro. Shout out to my dad, right? Because my dad was very active in us growing up, right? We didn't go to daycare either. My parents were both, I would say, honestly, bro, they were dually active in terms of their dealings with us. I don't know. Yeah, it was no. I don't know, bro. My dad was very active with us growing up, extremely. So I don't know. You know what I mean? If there's a direct gender role, I plan on definitely being pretty active with mine. But I say that now. You never know what that's gonna be like.
You cleared that up fast, didn't you?
You wild, boy.
Yeah. Because I'm speaking out of ignorance.
You cleared that up super fast.
Yeah. Because I was speaking out of ignorance. You know what I'm saying? You never know. But I do. My dad was real active with us. But I want to know real quick though, Darby and old Bam. Do we ever see a reality, right, where honestly, and I'm gonna pull out the data after this. How do you feel about women being, right? Because we all listen to the new Red Pill, talking points, and in some cases, I've grown to agree with some of the talking points. But when I'm looking at the data and I'm looking at reality, I'm not seeing this in reality. I'm not seeing it. Do we see a day where women will ever be subjected to traditional gender roles and not allowed to come outside of those roles? What's your take on gender roles in society?
Do you think about women going back to how it used to be a long time ago? That's what you're talking about?
Yeah, going back.
That's dead. That ain't coming back, dog.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. I partially agree with you, O. And the reason why I say partially, because, all right, so I got twofold. A lot of people, or a lot of women rather, are wanting to enter in the soft girl era. And it looks like a polished life, right? However, the caveat to that is a lot of how we grew up, and I guess I can speak for majority of our culture. Our parents, both our parents had to work. So it wasn't a lot of traditional roles going on. So a lot of them don't really, they're about to kill me. They don't know how to cook.
Hey, man, go ahead.
They don't know how to cook. Don't really know what the role of a wife looks like. They don't know what the role of a stay-at-home mom looks like. They just know that it's a position, right? But and I say that for men as well, as far as, being a husband, but it's just like, they don't know what that looks like and they don't know how to play that role. But then when somebody who is a man that loves traditional lifestyle, they give them that, that's too much work. Nah, I don't want to be, figure out meals, 6, 7 days out the week. I don't want to have to continue to wash clothes all the time. Even if you provide a maid or a housekeeper or so on and so forth, that stuff it can get tiring, right? But I do see some women who prefer the stay-at-home mom role, but it's just like to a minimum. I don't really see anyone who's like, you know what? Anything my household needs, including the personnel who is in this house, they are going to get me hand and foot because it looks too hard. It looks exhausting. When you become a servant of your household, it still can feel tedious. It can feel like a task, but that's the role that you may choose. So it's like, what do you want? You can't have the soft girl era. You have kids and then somebody else taking care of them. Oh no, we got a nanny 24/7. Like I'm all for women having a nanny, to have breaks and stuff like that. But if you want to, be a traditional stay-at-home mom, you have to play those roles 100%. Ain't no 50%. It's 100%. And men have to do the same thing because they out there, bringing home the checks and so on and so forth. They're playing their part because y'all chose that. So it's like I'm leaning towards it's like 50-50 almost, but a lot of people don't want to entail that type of job.
Yeah, I feel you. I think you're right. I think you got to choose. I think it's 100 though. You just got to choose which side of 100 you want to be on.
But when they get that 100, they like, hey, this might be too much. It's just like some people get there like, oh, I'm about to make 150,000 at FedEx or UPS, but when they start tossing them boxes, getting paper cuts, tripping over stuff, they're like, all right, man, is this 150K worth it?
But see, I'm 100% responsible for making sure we got a house.
Yeah, as a husband and as a man, of course.
And
But we're talking about the traditional roles of a woman, though.
Yeah, but she makes it a home. She 100% responsible for making it a home. So she need to keep up with the cleaning. I'm sorry, but I'm gonna pay all the bills. She ain't got to pay no bills, but she clean, she cook, she can help the kids with homework. She makes it a home. I can't make it a home without her. I make it a house. I got the house. I'm gonna have a house with or without her.
110%.
So that's why we 100 because without her, I ain't got no home. I got a house.
See, I'll be honest, Bam. Your wife is phenomenal. That's my sister. She's different.
Don't hype her up. Don't hype her. She all right.
She different. But I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, though, it's a lot of people who want to be married. They want to get married, but they don't want to play the role. They just want to have the title.
Oh yeah, that's definite because it's easy to not.
I'm not gonna lie, fellas. A lot of men don't want that role no more either, though. A lot of men ain't trying to provide 100%. They try to put their 50 in the pot and they out of there.
Yeah.
So we gotta talk. We gotta talk on both sides. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of men out here, they want the new cars. They don't want to pay all the bills because they rather go buy a new whip. You know what I'm saying?
I gave up my Charger to go buy my wife a car.
Hey man, but you're a real man though. A lot of men these days, they care about themselves and that's it.
That's facts.
So I would say they don't even want to be husbands though. Oh,
they don't.
Yeah, so I would say they.
A lot of men out here. I know y'all do. We didn't always see these relationships. A lot of men driving brand new vehicles and their wife is driving some old vehicle.
That's a fact.
Like a lot of men not putting their women first these days. They putting themselves first.
Yeah, they ain't John Heyman it.
Yeah. We got my guy the God in the building, man. I definitely got to get his take on this. What's your thoughts?
What's up, man? Good morning.
Peace, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Yes, I know. I heard you say that any woman of yours is not going to be she's not going to be working while she had a new baby, or there's not going to be daycare and all of that. And my only question is when did being a mom become taboo? Like people make it like it's a consequence or like it's a penalty to be a mom in this day and age, and like it's such a rigid gender role. But I think mothers are like the most important part of the family because they're the first teachers, they're the first nurturers. But I see people looking at it like, oh, you putting a shackle on me because you making me a mom, or I gotta watch the children or something like that. I don't know. What's y'all thoughts?
Hey, God, a lot of women don't want to be moms anymore. They want to be outside.
They want
to
be outside.
We gotta keep it real in this situation.
Listen,
I think social media is saying that shit
moms.
It is.
Yeah.
Oh, I promise you it is, dog. These kids becoming accessories. You know, they want to dress them up and cute. Oh, my baby got J's. My baby wearing baby fur coats or whatever. Snap a pic for the Instagram or whatever. But they spending, 90% of their time at grandma's house if grandma around.
Wow.
Ooh-wee. Oh my
Like, come
God,
on now. I know people personally who do that, and I'm personally getting on their ass right now because ain't nobody that know me personally. You're not about to be a deadbeat around me. You know what I mean? That's not gonna fly. So just like what the guy was saying, man, it's just like it is becoming taboo because kids are becoming an accessory. But who's to say? It's like was it because that's how their parents raised them? Like as a culture, we got to break a lot of the cycles that we grew up on and just create our own and forget about the narrative that people say, oh, that's corny. Oh, only white people do that. This, that, and the third. No, dog. Like these kids have like true mental health issues to where they battling on a day to day. What to do, how to do it. Are they going to be judged? Or do their parents love them X, Y, and Z? So, we just got to break that cycle. But I also don't see it only in our culture too. I'm starting to see it in other people's culture as well, and it's quite sickening because it's getting crazy.
All right, keep it a band though. I know more good daddies than I know good mamas.
Ooh.
Damn.
Yeah.
Oh my
I'm
God.
gonna be real. I think.
Hey, hold on. You gotta break that down.
Ooh.
But
What?
black men stepped up major, man. I see dads at all the sporting events. You starting to see them at the school. Dads is taking in, and moms they just there for what it brings them. They Section 8, they food stamps. They don't really care about them kids like that. Now it's some. I ain't knocking them all, but most of the ones out there, they want kids for what it does for them. Yeah, they love benefits. They don't love what they kid like.
Ooh.
They don't care about their kid doing great or being great or supporting them mentally, physically. They care about what that kid can do for them. It's a utility weapon.
Ooh.
They control that man.
Oh my God.
Uncle Sam.
I ain't gonna lie, man. I'm not a lady, but that triggered me, man.
Hey, boy.
Yo,
That comment section
what's
about
your
to be on
thoughts on
fire.
that, man? The God, what's your
Everybody,
thoughts?
I don't care. My wife know me. She know how I'm a triggering person. And I don't need nobody validation because I got mine.
Ooh. We got Dunn in the building with
We got Don in the building.
Oh, where's his wife? Lord have mercy.
Yes, indeed.
I see a lot. I see like a lot of people like try to keep fathers out of the children's lives.
Oh,
the relationship dissolves, and then they try to keep the father out of the life, and then the father tries and tries, but then they turn the children against the father, and it's just bad like that, man. I mean, because you get into these relationships. Like, listen. I don't want to trigger nobody, but listen. This is
that's real though.
Right? You see the trend on Instagram. You see the lady on Instagram. She's showing all her body parts. Then a few weeks later, you see her with the man. Then a few weeks later, you see her with the baby. And then a few weeks later, you see her with the bodies and then the babies and no man. I don't know, man. This is a trend I keep seeing, man. I don't know, man. It's just bad relationships. People is attracted to outer appearances and not really cultivating a family. And
hey, when you get a job, don't you got to have like a approved work attire?
Ooh.
Yeah.
So how come when a man
mother attire?
Yeah, so if I tell my wife she shouldn't wear something or she can't post something, why is that wrong? But your job can tell you what to wear or what not to post. That's the thing.
Well, that's been my analogy for years. Don't have more respect for your job than you do have for your household. I kid you not. That's a quick way to get fired in both places.
My God.
And you'll get fired in that marriage too.
Done. I gotta get done in here.
Don't do that.
I gotta get done in on this conversation.
We gotta get done in the wifey.
And the wife.
Hey, crazy right now. That's triggering.
Yeah, we about to have some wisdom come through. Talk to her.
You know I had to bring my wife in on this one. I've been
Yes.
talking about my wife. Y'all ain't met my wife on camera. So
Everybody about to get a whooping now.
listen, man, I wish I would try to tell her what she can and cannot wear.
Wow.
So
Not evident.
listen, Byron, let's just ask this question. Go back to asking that question about the gender roles, and do you see it about women not being allowed to whatever?
Yeah.
And let's see what can you ask that question again, and then
Yeah. So I
let my
want to
wife
know,
decision.
do we think that we are, because it's a lot of rhetoric about going on social media, trying to recondition women to, the standards of the 1950s, 1940s, right? And some of it may be well intent, some of it may be, not well intent. But do you ever see a day where women will go to a space to where there are less rights for women, or less, they're less productive members in society from a economic standpoint in the workplace? Do you see that being a reality, or do you see that not being a reality?
No.
And no, not at all.
And no.
Not
Hell no.
And why do you say that?
I think once the horse is out the barn, it's a little difficult. Towards me. It's a little difficult to put the horse back in the barn. But let me ask this question. So we get this 1950s woman. Is she going to be with a 1950s man?
Ooh.
Might be with a 2025 man. That's
What does a 1950s man look like?
Work? I mean, why does a 2045 man want a 1950s woman?
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what do you do with that? I mean, what is it about maybe modern women that you are uncomfortable with, that you think that you got to go retro to be happy or to get what you want?
This is what I think.
That's a good question.
This is what I think about that. I think what has happened is we have witnessed women evolve in financially, educationally. They've gotten the opportunity to see the world, experience the world in a lot of ways. And I think in some cases, women, and in some areas, are actually surpassing men in experience, education, financially,
everything,
a lot of ways. And I think,
so you just said it though, Byron, before you go too far.
Is that threatening?
The women have evolved, the men stayed the same.
Men have not evolved.
All got worse. All gotten worse.
Oh,
But
what's the
how
thoughts
does
on that?
evolution make you not want to raise your children? How is it making us better that nobody wants to actually be a nurturer for children? That doesn't make sense. That's not evolution, because now we losing a crucial aspect of what it is to bring a person into society as an actual family-minded person. It just doesn't make sense.
Is that true though?
We can't all be about business, so much about business that we forget about what family is. Cousins don't, brothers and sisters don't know each other because the family split apart. It's just crazy, man. That's ridiculous.
Is that really true that women don't want to be nurturers? Is that true?
I'll be honest, in this era,
in 2024,
there's a lot of them that don't want that position. They don't want that position. I'll be honest with you.
They're gonna pass it on. They're gonna pass it on to daycares and grand.
Because kids are their tool. They don't care for their success. They care for what they bring them.
I think what I see and what I have experienced as a woman is that what we have now are some options that maybe weren't available before. I don't know that you should be threatened by me having those options, but I would also disagree with something someone said earlier. I think as women have evolved, if to use a word that's been used before, and I don't know that I like that word necessarily, I think men have evolved. I think Don is a different person from day one of our marriage to, year 23 of our marriage. I think he's evolving because of the relationship, and we're both growing. And the good thing for us is that I think we're both growing in the same direction. Because if I'm growing and he's stuck, that's not going to work. If he's growing and I'm stuck, that's not going to work.
May I ask a question?
Sure.
Okay. So a lot of this times in this era, and I don't know, and I don't want to assume your involvement in social media, but what we're seeing is a lot of people are backing out of the traditional roles, even though we're modern folk, is because of the task at hand of said position, whether it's being husband or wife, whether it's being father or mother, or breadwinner or not the breadwinner of the wife or the husband who's the breadwinner. Can I ask you a personal question as in regards to how you and Mr. Don started to where y'all at now?
You can ask.
Okay. Have you, and I don't know what y'all's positions right now as far as work, but Mr. Don's always on the show. Were you working at the beginning of your marriage as opposed to now?
Yes, I was.
Okay. So did you consider that as what we call it 50-50
maybe
in your marriage?
maybe more or less, but
Okay.
I'm not wedded to the 50-50 model.
Right.
Definitely not.
Right. Okay. So, but both both of you work. When was it a point to where y'all, Mr. Don has retired you, or if you're still working at this point in time?
I'm retired. Mr. Don didn't retire me. I retired.
Okay. The reason why I ask is because we're losing a lot of working together in relationships. So that's where I grasped on wisdom in marriages like you two, because y'all work together to get to a certain position. You're like, you know what? You're at a period of time, babe, I want to retire. People think that when both households are working, they're going to work forever, rather than, hey, we're both going to work. And then once we get to this point, you don't have to work anymore, but I'll continue to work, or I'll just continue to do my investments and so on and so forth. Because most men, they don't like sitting stagnant. Most black men that I know, they don't like sitting stagnant. They always got to be doing something. But we're in an era, and I think when you came into the topic or whatever, as far as gender roles, people don't want to work together no more. This is like, either you got it to take care of me or you don't. And if you don't got it, I don't want you, and I don't want to do nothing with you. So that's where we come in a lot of issues, is where if the man don't make $500,000 a year and I don't have to work, then I don't want to. And we're talking about 30-year-olds. We ain't talking about 45, 50 plus, and so on and so forth. We're talking about 30-year-olds who don't want to work or raise kids at home and so on and so forth. It's kind of getting to a point to where just let me live my lavish life and you just give me the money. That's what it's starting to look like. So that's why we're kind of having these conversations in our age group, in our day and age, or for the single people who are looking for relationships.
But I can kind of tap in on that. You know what an echo chamber is?
I do not.
Okay, echo chamber is this: your social media is curated around what you're used to seeing, what you're used, because the algorithm picks up what you like, what you're clicking on, what you're watching. And so what you're going to get is more of that. And so I'm wondering if what you're seeing on social media may be different from what you might see at your, when you talk to people at your church or at your social club, or when you get out in real life. Or are you getting all of this input from social media and then drawing conclusions? So
Absolutely not.
okay, great.
I'm heavy involved in the church, and a lot of people that I'm around have the same mindset that I do. However, it's what we're facing when we're dating in the world. Some people say, as far as my church folk, when you're out in the world dating and so on and so forth, where not necessarily everybody's in the church where they have that foundation. So I get where you're going, but as far as everyone else, that's a good question for them, but I see where you're going for that, Mr. Don.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that we the data that we're using to make decisions is actual real life stuff and not curated just on social media. That's all I'm trying to say.
I want to. We got OT in the building.
OT.
I definitely want to get her take on it. OT, you with us?
I am. I don't know if you can hear me or not.
I can hear you.
Oh yeah, we can hear you. Good morning.
Good morning. How y'all doing?
We good.
Good.
What's your
your
take
thoughts about this conversation?
Yeah, what's your thoughts on this?
Well, I was just tapping in, kind of just listening to some of what Mr. Don's wife and Darby were saying. The title, I think, is what got my attention, to be honest. I guess how to control. I was trying to figure out why control was necessary, but I guess that's what it was. It's clickbait, right? So, I'm here. I think, I don't know, I guess a lot of the conversation around relationships, I guess social media to me is disingenuine. And I think that might have been why Mr. Don asked where Darby was probably getting some of his knowledge as far as where people are dated on a day-to-day. But why do you need to control a high-earning woman is the question that I want to know. And I think from the female perspective, when I heard Mr. Don's wife ask, I think she asked like if that's, I forget exactly how she asked it, but what I heard was it coming from females? Or to me, that's what it sounded like, how she asked the question or where you were getting this information from. So I don't know. I'm just kind of, like I said, I'm just tapping in, just listening. I was wanting to hear if anybody had an answer how to control a high earning female, if that was the objective of the conversation. But I'm just here. I'll tap in, I guess, when need.
Well, how do you think? What's your thoughts on the new dynamic where women are becoming increasingly more and more the breadwinners in families? This is like a real thing. It's not talked about on social media, but when you look at the data suggests that this is a real thing. If they're not the breadwinners, a lot of them are making equal to the partners that they're with.
So
and obviously,
so they're really doing more.
So
yes.
being a breadwinner,
they're really doing more because they're making the same amount of money and they're taking care of the house and the kids and all that.
This is a fact.
That's basically what you was getting to, Byron?
This is a fact.
We've always done that.
I'm sorry. Mr. Don, what is your wife's name again? So I can stop calling her Mr. Don's wife first of all.
Patricia.
Thank you. I'm sorry, Miss Patricia. I think it's just so. What the question is what about that makes you uncomfortable for me? Because I guess somebody being a breadwinner doesn't necessarily make them the man in a relationship. That doesn't mean that they're more masculine. So I guess what is it about a woman making more money or being a breadwinner that actually makes you more uncomfortable? Because that was the question, and I don't think anybody answered it when she asked it. So I'll ask it again.
Exactly. It's women making more money than their male partners is not new, especially in the Black community. That's been real for a long time. But making more money is making more money. It doesn't have to mean that you think that because you make more money, you have to be the leader of the home. It doesn't mean that at all. It also doesn't mean that because I'm going to say me, because I'm making more money, that it should necessarily threaten my husband. And then I have to feel like I have to shrink because his ego needs a boost. I mean, the facts are the facts. If I'm making 75 and he's making 30, well, together it's 105. That's where we need to focus. It's still together. No, whichever one of us. I mean, let me go to Coco Gauff's family. Coco making the money. Does that mean that she is the leader of the house? I don't think so.
I'm not gonna lie, Miss Patricia. I don't think it's working like that now, because
it ain't, Miss Patricia.
The men that's around right now, it ain't working like that. And then
we need more of your
women,
attention.
Yeah, because a lot of men get demasculated because they're not making that money.
Listen,
and a lot of women use it as control too.
We went through that transition.
Okay, you know what? Let me ask you this, Miss Patricia.
I want to hear. Hold on, real quick. You say you went through that transition. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, I want to hear.
Yeah, we went through that transition where
talk about it.
Where I made more, and then my wife did, and then I talked to her about quitting my job to start a business, and then she made more money than me for quite a while. So that 75-30 was more realistic than just some numbers being thrown out. Okay.
So,
okay. But
I like that though, because
now it's switched
she was
back.
willing to take the risk with you. Yeah. So we got to talk about that too.
And that's the teamwork. That's the teamwork we're losing.
Yeah.
That's the teamwork we're losing.
Is not like that.
But that comes from
a lot of relationships not like that no more.
That comes from conversation, and that does not mean that it didn't bring some sort of anxiety along the way. Because I mean, the point is that if you're struggling to pay bills, now you're trying to come up with, your mind goes to answers. And well, what if you made more money? We wouldn't be struggling like this. So it happens. It's just that you're going to find a way to deal with it and work your way through it. And if she hadn't done that, the business wouldn't be where it is now, because I would have quit to go back to a 9-to-5.
But also, a relationship is more than the funds you bring to the relationship. You're in the relationship with certain goals. You're in the relationship with certain needs. It's not just about finances, and it takes two whole people to be in a relationship. And so sometimes maybe it's your stuff, your personal stuff that you got to work on, that's undermining the relationship, and it looks like you're fighting about money, but that may not be what you're fighting about at all.
Not at all.
That's that
society won't let the stay at. Society is what will affect that decision, because a lot of times if a woman is supporting a man, everybody gonna say, "Oh, you can't be taking care of that nigga. He gotta get a job. What he doing all day?" Even if you know he got a dream, your friends will push him back to McDonald's instead of pursuing his dream. And your parents, because they told him they told you he ain't worth a shit.
Ooh.
Oh, he can't just sit around and do nothing. But nobody would ever say that about my wife being a stay-at-home mom and me working and her working on the business. It never switches over like that, because they say she's doing her thing. Don't nobody ever give her that thought or give me that thought of that woman ain't helping you in life. It's acceptable for her, but it's not acceptable for me. If we switch, everybody call me a Pookie.
Ooh.
Oh, what?
You saying Puka?
Pookie and Ray Ray. I gotta share something real quick. I gotta share something real quick, because I promised that I would. I promise that I would. You do not want to be a Pookie or a Ray Ray. None of those. Real quick. So this was interesting to me. It says Black wives, college graduates, more likely than other wives to be in egalitarian or breadwinner wife marriages. And this is according to Pew Research. It says the growing share of marriages in which the wife has more education than her husband is likely contributing to the growth of the breadwinner wife marriages. Today, 24% of marriages have a wife with more education than her husband, up from 19% in 1972. Black wives are significantly more likely than wives from other racial or ethnic groups to be the breadwinner in their marriage. This was also the case in 1972. Today, roughly 1 in 4 Black wives, which is 26%, out-earn their husbands. Smaller shares of white, Asian, and Hispanic wives are the breadwinners in their families. But in the Black community, Black women by far are either breadwinners, right, or egalitarian, right, where it's a shared, shared financial burden on the household. What's your thoughts on this statistics?
Well, I can tell you, I'm living those statistics. My wife has more education than me. Okay, all of her friends have more education than me, and so if I'm going to, so I had to come to the realization that if I'm going to move in those circles, then I'm going to have to self-educate. I didn't, because I'm ADD and on the Asperger spectrum. I didn't read my first book all the way through until I was 46 years old. We didn't get married until I was 46. So that tells you something. Okay. So now I have a library now, because now, I'm even in their book club so that I can stay abreast of things. And so I didn't get an education in the traditional sense. I still wanted to be in a situation where I could speak intelligently on a number of different topics, and so that I can kind of fit into her world. And this is what she was talking about, being able to grow. Now, what if I decided, your
friend's bougie, blah blah blah.
Yeah, your friends are bougie, and I'm going to be hanging out with the boys, and then when we try to, at all the dinner parties, I don't have anything to say because I have no idea what they're talking about. I did not want to be that guy. So yes, we live those statistics. In fact, being in this community, church is very important to us, and so we know a lot of male pastors whose wives are doctors, and these pastors they're not making that money. The wife is making the money. And we see that a lot. I mean, do you know anybody who that the wife is a lawyer or a doctor, and then the husband is a what?
A barber.
A barber. Yeah. Or whatever. Yeah. And what are they doing? What are they doing to try to make it? That's the thing.
When I listen to that, right? And I would love to hear OT's take on this too. You know what I mean? But when I hear it, right, it speaks to a lot of the rhetoric that we're hearing on social media right now. Do you believe that because this fact is a fact, right? We literally just saw the facts. These Black women, and this is not a new phenomenon, right? Black women have been gaining education for a long time. They have been growing in that particular lane for it's nothing new. Do you think that now we're witnessing men try to put women back in their place, so to speak, or control women, right, through social media? Listen to me now. because they're witnessing the growth and evolution of women rapidly, and it is fearful
too fast. Yes, too
If
fast.
they are, they're insecure. I'll be honest. I'm gonna just say that. If they are, they're insecure.
Let's talk about it.
I'm glad y'all said it and not me.
Listen, I'm gonna let OT, ramp on this because she has great insight. Listen, on both sides, if your woman is making more than you, or you trying to humble that woman in her light, you're an insecure man. 110%. Ladies, if you're trying to demasculate that man because he make 40,000 less than you, you have some insecurities as well, because who are you trying to match yourself up to? So there's a thing that we battle with on social media as far as a traditional role, what society tells us, and then we have the greater good is with the wisdom of Miss Patricia and Mr. Don. It's all about your marriage and your relationship and your household. Worry about what's going on in your household that makes you happy and joyous to come home to, rather than what your raggedy friends tell you, what your raggedy homeboys telling you that you need to do this, that, and the third. Listen, if your kids are in a happy home and y'all got a happy marriage and a joyous marriage, keep it there. Don't let society dictate what you need to do and what you're not doing. Worry about satisfying your wife and your husband, and make sure your kids have a peaceful home. That's it.
I want to share something from the early days, and this
said a word, Darby. You said a word.
This ain't gonna take long. In the early days, I wasn't as enlightened as I am now. So we're out shopping, okay? And like I said, my worldview was relatively small at the time we got married. So we're out shopping, and we go into the Coach store, and I'm looking at these purses. I ain't never seen nothing cost that much. And she bought a Coach purse, and I looked at it and said, you're spending that kind of money on a purse? You should have seen the look she gave me. What did you say, honey? You remember? Okay, yeah, you remember. I made this money. Did I? Yes, you did. I made this money. Okay? And I never went down that road again. Okay? I'm just saying. I know you don't, but I remember it because it was a learning moment for me.
Hey,
I remember that.
I don't remember that.
Hey, one thing a man gonna remember is how he felt in that situation. Like, gosh, she checked me that day. That's gonna stay with him forever. She put me in my place that day.
You're absolutely right. I have no memory of that event. None. But
because that was natural for you. That was natural for you. You looked at him, for lack of better words, like, nigga, who you talking to? This is my money.
Exactly. That's what it was.
That's the love. And you got a little boy that day, what we called it. You like, you know what? You shut up. You probably shut up and kept it moving, didn't you?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I didn't say another word after that.
Yeah, man.
I want to get. My guy AO. I want.
Hey, yo,
I don't know if he disappeared. OT, what's your thoughts on that? What's your thoughts?
Real quick, I just want to say, just because we were on a topic, I heard a saying, and I always stand by this, is that be careful what you say to people, because they may not ever remember exactly what you said, but people will always remember how you made them feel. So,
yes, indeed.
that's one. But
110%.
Yeah. So as far as, I guess, putting women back in place, and Black women being, I guess, moving, our upward mobility, moving at a faster pace. That's always been the case, but we, as people that look like us, have always been a target in some perspective, in some way, right? And so I feel like the Black man, throughout, through in several different ways, is not making excuses, but it's the obvious numbers. If you look at the numbers of men incarcerated, or if you look at the beginning of welfare and how these things kind of went about, it's always kind of been, it's always kind of been the I guess the goal or the alternative to kind of hold the Black man back in its society. Now that we've progressed, there are tons of ways that the Black man himself has continued to hold themselves. So we it's a double-edged sword, but it kind of is what it is. And so I feel like while society was kind of, I guess making these roadblocks for us, let me just say, Black women, it's just what we do. We learn to get through things and feel like we've always had the space to do that. And so in the struggle, while we were, while the men were going out working and having to deal with all of the stress of the world, you guys had to come back home to us, and we still had to deal with you. But in turn, we still had to deal with the world as well. So I'm kind of like going on a rant, but for me, when it comes to just society and Black women being the breadwinner and things like that, I don't think it should affect you unless it affects your household. Like Darby said, everybody's household is different. Social media, if your life is run by social media, then that could be the problem, obviously. I'm not in a relationship right now. And for me, that was because I felt like I needed to take care of my own shit. Like Miss Patricia said, you can be in situations arguing about one thing, but not knowing that that's not necessarily the root of whatever it is that, that the discussion is. So as far as men being trying to put people back in place, those are the insecure men. Everybody and their mom has a podcast. I believe not everybody deserves a mic, but social media, so it is what it is. Cognitive dissonance, you know what I'm saying? That you are what you listen to. So
we got AO in the building. I definitely got to get his take on this because I know you were listening to it, and I know you had some hot takes. You want to add to this discussion? You look good in the studio, man.
Hey man, appreciate it, man. I was in here doing some work and doing this little Bible study, and my boys was like, yo, man, they on there talking about 50-50 and women taking the money and the bread. And I said, man, let me jump on here real quick. Man, I think that I think there is I think we're being a little bit too soft on the men. I think that there is a balance of men need to grow up, and then also men need to be respected. I think that, I go on record. I say that every man needs to be striving to make at least 6 figures or more a year. And it's not just so that he could be a provider for his woman. It's just that so he can be a provider for himself. You know what I'm saying? So I believe that the right woman will respect you, will love you, will honor you, no matter the income. I didn't find out until 5 years ago that my mom has been a breadwinner since I've been born. And my dad has never made any more money than my mom. He served in the Marines for 10 years. He was a police officer after that. After he was a police officer, he started driving the city bus. My mom's been in education her entire life. She's the assistant for the associate superintendent in San Diego County. So she's been a breadwinner. But I've never saw my mom disrespect my dad growing up. I never knew that my mom was the breadwinner. She never said, yo. But one thing that I did see from my mom is that my dad was always striving to become better. My dad was always striving to do the things that God has called him to do, and he's always been within his lane. Now my father is making way over 6 figures, but at the same time, because my mom is in her calling and her assignment, she's making over 6 figures as well, too. And just like what y'all said earlier, my dad doesn't have a bachelor's degree. My mama is educated. So because of that, it has allowed her in California to continue rising. But one thing that I did see from my father and what they both told me was that my dad was always striving for more. He wasn't okay with just settling. And so I think we do have to have a point to where men, right, we have to. I don't want us to grow up a bunch of men saying it's cool. It's cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's cool. My woman gonna do that. I'm gonna stay where I'm at all times. Me, Anthony O'Neill, I don't care where I'm at in life. I'm always looking at how can I strive to be better? How can I strive to make more? How can I strive to give more? How can I strive to make a better situation for my family, to expose my kids, my wife to something we've never experienced before? And I'm not going to put that weight on my wife. So there is a healthy balance of, brothers, we got to step up to the plate. If our sisters can go get the education, if our sisters can go out there and make more money, so can men. But then at the same time, there will be certain career fields that I believe that men are going to get into that will not warrant them to make more money than their spouses. And that is okay. As long as that man is striving to become a better man, that's a solid man. And any woman who cannot honor that man, that's not your wife, bro. Keep on moving. And if that man is not doing what you want to do, that's not your husband. Keep on moving. But I do want to go on records and say, I do believe Byron and O'Neal, sometimes we don't really hold our brothers accountable because we do have men out there who really don't want to become better. They do not care. And they are living behind some of us saying, hey, you know what? You're right. If you can't respect me making $45,000 for the rest of my life, then you use a whack woman. Well, no, what if she see more in you? If she's striving and kicking her butt, how come you can't neither? So I'm gonna leave it there, man. I'm gonna leave it there, brother.
Oh, wait a minute. So tell me this though. Yeah. That was good stuff. But tell me this though, AO. What's your thoughts on men, right? Because we've heard a lot of red pill talking points, right? It's a lot of red pill talking points going on right now. And in my opinion, I believe a lot of it is, I think it's rooted, if I'm being honest with you, it's rooted
it's coming from insecure men.
It's coming from it's the pimp culture mentality, right? It's let me beat you up so much to where you at some point just kind of allow me to have a certain sense of dominance over you without me ever having to lay a finger on you, but me consistently conditioning you to accept less, view yourself as less, right? And women, a lot of women are acquiescing to the rhetoric, right? And now we're seeing like this whole soft life era start to kind of emerge from that. And I don't think we've ever really historically been in a space where soft life was really a thing on average. I don't think we've ever been in a space where we've just completely, well, we have been in a space historically where we've diminished our women, but not in recent history have we seen that. So what are your thoughts on the red pill rhetoric aiming to recondition women, right? To accept less, to accept male mistreatment, male diminishment of their efforts and abilities. What are your thoughts on that?
Egos. Stroke their ego.
I don't want to sit here and act like I know it all, man. I really don't subscribe to the red pill foolishness. So I don't even listen to it. So I don't even know what they're teaching, right? But based upon what you just said, if that's what they're teaching, man, that's a bunch of bull crap. Because what I hear them saying, and again, I'm just going based upon Anthony O'Neal, my doctrine and my belief of what I believe in. Every man and every woman was fearfully and wonderfully made. So every gift, every talent, every skill that we have was fearfully formed, right? If you're a woman, by God, we was fearfully made by God, if you're a man. And so for me, when I hear a man tell a woman like, hey, everything that God has put on the inside of you, settle for less than that because men are superior. I just can't subscribe to that. And the reason why I will never be the man that is intimidated by another woman is because if this woman was formed for me, right? If she was formed for me, everything that's on the inside of her is for me too. So even if she has a skill set that's going to bring in $1 million a year, and God gave me a skill set that's only going to bring in $200,000 a year, put the money aside, everything that's on the inside of that woman, because she was formed for me, is for me. It is formed to help me, to partner with me. So to tell a woman that she cannot settle, to settle for less, to settle for drama, to settle for, mistreatment, man, that's a bunch of bull crap. If I'm blessed to have a daughter, I would never teach my daughter that. I would never teach you that. No, every man should love you, should honor you, should be willing to die for you. And when I say die, I ain't talking about die literally. Well, he should be willing to die literally, but every man should be willing to die to their flesh, just die to certain things about them so that y'all too can have a better life. And so, I don't really know the red pill rhetoric, but I would never sit here, and I'm not a relationship expert. Don't want to be one because I'm still single. I'm still trying to figure it out myself. But when it comes to the money aspect of things, man, listen, I think if you two have a vision, and then I'll shut up from here. If you two sit down and you all have a clear vision And a lot of people know my brother-in-law. My brother-in-law is Glenn Henry. He is the founder of Belief in Fatherhood. Me and my brother-in-law didn't get along at first, Byron, because my brother came home and told the family that he's quitting his job to be a stay-at-home Black father. I had my little brother, I had my little nephew, Theo, Uriah came, and he said, hey, I want to be in my kid's life. I want to be an example to my kids. So my sister stayed working in education, and they're making maybe $60,000 at the time because they realized that his salary was going all to daycare. So he stays home. And this is what I'm thinking, right? He stays home to be a Black father. And I was like, nah, bro, you're going to be a YouTuber? But nah, bro, you need to go to work. You didn't marry my sister to be a stay-at-home father and to live off of my sister. About 2 years later, me and him didn't talk for about a year. And about 2 years later, man, my brother-in-law goes viral on YouTube, gets called into Oprah, doing this thing. And I didn't know the whole time, my sister was like, hey, you need to stay home and you have this gift. So you have this gift of music, of editing, of telling stories. How about you tell the story of what would happen if Black fathers were inside of their kids' lives more? And so he did that, man, and built a YouTube channel that has over 1 million people. They do over a couple $1 million a year now. And he retired my sister 6 years later. And I'm like, wow, like, so here I am judging a man based upon what I thought was manhood years ago, almost 10 years ago. But the truth of the fact is they both sat down and they said, this is the vision for the family. Here's your skill set. Here's my skill set. I'm going to use my skill set to give you a little head start. When you get to running, boy, come back and retire me. That's the vision of the family. And while everyone was hating on him, look at him today. The same people that was hating on him, the same sisters that was talking to my little sister Yvette about why you let your husband do that. He lazy, he this. Those same sisters, those same Black daughters are sitting there struggling, living paycheck to paycheck, still getting up, going 8 to 5. And Yvette's at home having kids, living a life, traveling the world. They took all their kids out of public school. Yvette homeschools them. 2 years ago, they did a trip, Byron and O'Neal, for 3 months around the world, exposing their kid to every single state in the United States of America on a $2 million budget because a Black man stayed home and he was not the breadwinner for a couple of years. And look at him now. So don't come with me with that foolishness of women got to settle for less and do this. Nah, man, what's the vision for the family and screw everyone else? I'm done. I was about to say something else and I can't do that. I'm sitting at the table. God bless y'all.
Wow.
Quick,
I want to hear that. I want to hear that thought. Go ahead, OT. Then I want to hear the thoughts from the Daniels.
Maybe thoughts, but I have a question because I'm not really on social media like that as it may seem, and I'm completely out the loop. So what are they teaching over there at the blue pill space? Because the red pill does not sound like, is that like the blue pill space? Is that where they call the men simps, or what's up with that? I have no idea.
I would say this just to give clarity on some of my issues with the red pill real quick. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we don't condone with the red pill. We'll tell you that.
I think
some of the red pill rhetoric in its conception was rooted in a lot of truth, a lot of fact, right? So I'm gonna start there. I think it was rooted in a lot of fact and a lot of truth. But what it has morphed into is what I call social media pimping, right? It is a form of reconditioning. It is attempting to recondition women to accept less, to be less valued, to bow down in the presence of men that may or may not deserve nowhere, not even 10% of that treatment. It is morphing into women just relegating themselves to being at home, right? Being taken care of by a man, maybe, right? And that man having, infinite options to cheat potentially, and women accepting this, right? Now, if you are into polygamy, I'm not speaking to that, but what I'm just telling you what the rhetoric is conditioning. And I think that part of that kind of rhetoric is dangerous because number one, it's self-limiting, right? It's going to limit women from their greatest and highest potential. And it is also conditioning men to believe that they're entitled to certain levels of treatment that don't really exist in reality. So now we sitting up here trying to do relationship based on false pretenses, right? And things that are not happening on a consistent basis in reality. And so we gonna never be able to get along. These podcasts will forever exist because no one will ever be able to reach these levels of complicity, right? No one will ever be this compliant to make this stuff work. So it's just breeding a nonstop, constant battle between the genders, in my opinion. But I want to hear from the Daniels on this.
Yeah, I want to hear
what's your
your
take on what AO said? I gotta get AO shaking his head like, yo, I gotta hear what AO gotta say, man.
No, I'm just saying I'm letting the Daniels go, man. But red pill, pink pill, blue pill, green pill, orange pill, doc pill, Reverend pill. Man, the only pill I'm taking is that BIBLE. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's the only pill that I can really subscribe to, because it's for me, it's everyone has their thoughts, man. And I got to be careful when I say this, because, you know, I have a podcast, but I agree with what our sister said earlier. I think 75% of people who have a podcast, they just need to shut the hell up.
Ooh.
I mean, because it's like, well, we're sitting here, we're dividing our brothers and sisters. We are creating friction between the black man and the black daughter. And I'm like, why? Like, I wish I heard more relationship experts and more relationship talks about how do we create a vision as a team? How do we use our gifts and our talents together? How do we bring our resources together? How do we have better sex? You know, like, how do we have something better rather than, oh, women, you need to do this and man, you need to do this? Because if we always have that, we will always have a 53% divorce rate. If we always have this pill, that pill, this pill that doesn't really submit, and I just got to go there, I'm gonna shut up to this right here, to our navigation system of life, then we're always going to have division, man. And that's one of the reasons why I do not talk about relationships. And when I do, I say this is my thoughts. These are not my expert opinions, nor should I be having a mic to talk about relationships, because I haven't been in one. And I think, honestly, a bunch of single people talking about relationships, we need to shut up too, because we don't know what we're talking about, because it's not working for us. So I love listening to, you know, people in their 50s and 60s talking about relationships. Yeah, they may not understand completely about what's happening in 2023, 2024, when they've been married for 40 something years. I get that, but there still is wisdom and guidance and knowledge in that. And so, but I just get frustrated when I hear red pill, pink pill. One of my, I don't say one of my brothers, but a guy that I know gave me that red pill rhetoric a year ago. And I don't talk to him anymore today, because I'm like, bro, I'm not intimidated by a successful woman who's using her gifts and her talents. Why in the world do I want a potato for a wife? I don't want a lame for my wife. I want a wife who can come to the table, who got that big old booty, love the Bible, got the brains, and we can make a bag together. Bring her to me, because I'm not intimidated by what God put on the inside of her. Because here's my thing. If she's my wife, God already knew Anthony's going to use that gift, and you're going to help Anthony with that gift. And together, y'all going to build a mighty legacy. So all them pills is crap for me. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. Let me shut up.
Hey, I think you're exactly right. I think you're exactly right.
Yeah. Yeah, we agree with that. You know, that when you're talking about people who have a microphone, a podcast, and if they have more views, they make more money. So the way to get that is to have controversy or drama. Why can't you do that doing something positive like AO? All right, that's all I'm saying. That's all we're saying is do something positive. And all the things that you guys are talking about, you know, we had to deal with. We got married when we were 46. Okay. And as a joke, you know, my wife has a sense of humor that's out of this world. Okay. So watch out. I never get the last word. All right. Every time I think I've said something clever. She's back, a half a second later, and then I'm all done. She just slices me right up. But because she's quick like that. But we had the opportunity to when we were married, we talked about name change because her name is Patricia Stewart. My name is Don Daniel. And the joke is, if you wanted me to change my name, you should have met me earlier. So
So wait a minute. So she didn't take your name?
No. And it has never ever bothered me.
Can you speak to that decision, Miss Patricia?
Now, see, now, hold on. Let keep them on the camera. Put them back on the camera, brother. Because here's the thing. Now, at my age, there's no way in the world my wife is not taking my name. But I understand at their age of why she stood on that. That's been 40 plus long years. I mean, yeah, for sure. But that's what I mean. Like, there's wisdom and knowledge in what they're saying. They came up with a vision. They wrote their vision together. But for Anthony in my house, oh no. I'm going to see O'Neal on her last name. I'm going to keep it a buck with you. O'Neal will be her last name. I ain't even doing no hyphenated. Ain't going to be no previous last name hyphenated O'Neal. No, it's going to be such and such O'Neal in this house.
You gotta be
hilarious.
I'm with you on that.
And that will be the woman for you. And actually, the truth of the matter is, it wasn't a big deal. I was just kind of lazy. I was 46. I was already established as an educator. I was in my career, and I don't know that I had huge philosophical feelings about doing that. And if it was important to him, I probably would have done it, either just go straight his last name or hyphenated. But I was just kind of lazy. It wasn't important to me. I just never went and did the paperwork.
I just did it for you.
You'd have walked it down there, Bam.
Come on, baby.
And I think it's because if it's important to you, if it was Anthony, if it was that important to you and I was marrying you, I would have done it because we would have been on the same page about that before we got to that point.
We got Sophia, Bam Bam's wife, in the building. What's going on, Sophia?
Good morning. Good morning.
How's everyone doing?
We blessed.
Doing good.
That's good. That's wonderful. I love the conversation.
What you thought about it? Talk to us. We got the husband and wife in here.
I can say that everyone kind of need to highlight on the ones that do stay home. They make women that stay home take care of everything that needs to be taken care of like it's a bad thing. And then they shame those women too, like what they call us, a pick-me or something like that. I be getting called that all the time. And I look at it sometimes like, but you're wearing your body down out there. Then come the holiday, you're by yourself and depressed. Because you don't want to listen to a man.
Ooh.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And my body still looks good. And I'm still healthy.
Yeah, she got a big butt too. I went and got one of them black ladies that read the Bible with a big butt.
Let's go, Bam Bam. Let's go, Bam Bam.
I am so happy carrying all the weight on my back so her hips can be free.
Oh my God.
Hey, keep it PG, dog. Keep it PG.
My man said I would have got the brains, the Bible, and the booty. Don't play with it.
Don't play with
it. Any business I start or I think about, she say, babe, what do you need from me? Where can I help you in this? Do you want me to make calls?
He ain't wrong.
Whatever.
He ain't wrong.
Yeah.
He started a trash business, like a junk removal business.
Yep.
Not a lot of women going in on nasty houses. But their first year in business, they netted profit. I ain't gonna say how much they did, but they netted profit. And she was right there with them.
Yo, let me say this. I think what Mrs. Lynch is doing is absolutely amazing, right? But then I also too got to hold myself accountable to what I just said. Again, though, we got to be very careful because, like, what Miss Lynch just said is she was like, "Hey, she's been attacked because she's an amazing stay-at-home mom," and what happens immediately? We immediately respond with an attack. I don't think there's nothing wrong with a woman who wants to work as well. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think that they're putting wear and tear on the body. I think they're doing what they've been created to do. But I think those women who are working 9 to 5 shouldn't be shaming a woman who wants to operate within a vision of her and her family's house, right? And she's not a stay-at-home mom. She is doing her position within her family to make their family have a legacy. So she's not just sitting at home. We just heard Bam Bam say it. Like, hey, any business that I start, she made phone calls. She's my assistant. She's helping us out with the ultimate vision of the family. And so I think that there's nothing wrong with that. That is absolutely amazing. But then vice versa, we can't sit here and say that a woman who's working in corporate America or who's working a business on her own is putting wear and tear on her body and knocking them down. So I understand what Mrs. Lynch is talking about for real, as far as we need to stop the rhetoric and stop attacking our stay-at-home mothers. But if my wife come to me and says she want to stay at home or she want to work, whatever you want to do that is beneficial to getting us closer to our vision, man, let's put that into play. But I don't want to see us attacking.
Tell me this, Ayo, do you think it's anything wrong with being a pick Misha, whatever they call it, to the right man?
I don't think Miss Lynch is
honorable to be a pick Misha to the right man.
Why do we have to call names and be divisive? As an older woman, I think I have more choices than my mother, and my nieces have more choices than me. I think what's great about today is that each woman, each man can follow his or her calling because there are so many options. And I think that to the extent that we need to figure out our calling, our giftedness, commit to it and move forward, whether that means staying at home, whether that means going to work full-time or part-time. Honor your calling. And don't let anybody else dismiss or diss what your priorities in your life. You need to be the CEO of your life and not let anybody else come in and try to tell you what to do, regardless of which road you decide is the right road for you to go.
You know,
you got to decide that.
Can I just say something real quick?
I'm sorry.
To answer a part of what you stated as far as why does it need to be called a pick Misha or whatever it is, the only thing that I could say, I'm totally in agreement with Sophia. You're married and I'm single, so I'm not disagreeing with anything that you're saying. But to answer your question as far as why does it need to be called a name, I find myself being called a pick Misha when I'm in the space of a group of women who don't want to hold themselves accountable. But I also find myself called a masculine person, or I think I'm the man when I'm around men who are insecure and don't want to hold themselves accountable. So the only thing that I could say as far as anything that Sophia said was that maybe in today's time, because of the rhetoric that's being pushed, a lot of women just don't, not that they don't want to listen to a man, it's just that I personally don't want to listen to a man, or let me rephrase that. I personally struggle listening to a man without discipline and direction. So for me, that's my thing. Without discipline and direction, where we going? I can't even hear you. So
I definitely agree with that. I agree with what you're saying. That's why I feel like strongly a woman, when you're picking a man and you know what man you're picking, it shouldn't be an issue or problem. And I guess it goes off of who they date, who they're around, what they see. Because that's a cookie Ray Ray, and then they wonder why they in the situations that they are in. And those are the women that I'm talking about that are working their behinds off, wear and tear, and doing whatever place that they're working at. Those are the main women that I'm talking about. Now, I can say some of the professional, because again, I come from a family with strong women. With strong women that really don't have no respect in men. Like my mom, a nurse at a hospital, work at 2 hospitals. She trained us not to rely on no one. Not a man. And we could not respect a man. Like me and my mom relationship broke apart when I even met my husband. And she still don't respect
Sophia, I got a question.
To this day.
Sophia, what made you not listen to your mom guidance? because most women listen to what their mom have to say because that's the person that raised you. So what made
I'm
you
be honest with
do
you.
the decision to not listen?
I seen the stuff that I didn't like, not just from my mom but from my aunts too. Even when some of them had husband, how they lied to their husbands on certain things, even money situations, where they'll tell them that the price was this and they need them to give them this and it's not even that at all. I didn't like none of that. You're not being loyal. I didn't want nothing coming back at me because I did something I ain't had no business doing. Like, I don't think that's okay to do at all. Like, you can't be spiteful to the one that you lay with. Like, I feel like you're a snake. Like, you should not. I don't want to be around nothing that is not real. That's not. I can't do the fake. And my mom, and I guess it's because of how she was raised, but I can't say that my grandma was like that because my grandma taught me that you got to respect the man. You need to do what you need to do. And it was crazy because it was her mom. But it was different when it came to my mom. She was like, don't respect no man. You don't got to listen to them. Really, she wanted my husband to divorce me. So because of me and her get into arguments before, and I think he told you guys that previous before, even to this day, my family does not talk to me because, again, I refuse to go to a 9-to-5 job and like getting paid from just our business. And any issue or anything I need, I can get with no problem. When there is a problem or an issue that we need to fix, they hate the fact that I don't call them. They hate the fact that I don't have to rely on nobody. Like, I can handle it on my own, or me and my husband can handle it on our own. And then they call me bougie too. Like, and it's crazy because it's like, y'all made y'all made money, and I'm the bougie one because I don't want to help y'all with certain things that I feel like that's why you should have had a man. That's why you should have been married. That's why you should compromise, understanding, be open-minded, and be transparent.
Wow.
So how does that make you feel that you have all this?
I'm sorry, say it again.
Let's hear AO response, and I got another question for you.
Listen, man, this is my first time. I've heard Bam Bam several times. This is my first time hearing his wife, man. I just want to say salute to the queen, bro. I mean, salute to this amazing wife. Don't know if y'all have kids, but salute to this amazing mother. Because what I hear her saying is she cleaved to her husband and she submitted to the vision. And it's like when I hear ladies like what she's describing, saying, well, you should, divorce your husband. You don't need to respect no man. What I hear them saying is they've never submitted to a vision and they don't know what it feels like to be properly led, to be properly loved, to be in a healthy partnership. I'm sure her and Bam Bam have gotten in several arguments and probably done cussed each other out and probably done said, that's cool. But the vision brought them together. Their love brought them back together. And so, man, it bothers me when I hear our mothers and our ladies are being taught to, not respect the man. I don't know what to say on that. I won't even speak on that because I'm not married and I don't know what to say. But I pray that my wife I know my wife won't be taught that, because if that is something in her family teaching, I won't even date her. That's just me. Maybe that's wrong, but it's just me. But I just want to say salute to this queen, man, but also we got to salute Bam Bam, because that means Bam Bam's doing something right, that his manhood and his leadership. So she saw something in this brother to submit to this vision and to possibly lose her family. So Bam Bam, keep doing your thing, brother. Keep doing your thing. I'm gonna shut up.
In the beginning, I think I was just real good in bed.
Oh, that's bad.
Lord have mercy.
We got 4 kids though. We've been together since we was in 9th grade, man. We went to prom together. We done life together. And I couldn't have chose a better person to do life with. So we blessed, and the other people, they still a mess.
Yeah, we got 4 kids together. We got a 17-year-old son that will be graduating soon, a 10-year-old daughter, and twin boys. So, and I be honest with you, we went. I think us going through a lot had taught us more than because we went through a lot at the age that we shouldn't have went through, that we should have went through probably now or when we was in 25, but we was fast at 16, had a kid early. And after that, had another daughter, and then it was the twins. Now, I had a lot of complications with the twins to the point where it was like your life and your kids, and or the other two kids that are here, and I choose to like go with my other kids and told him that you here with the other kids.
I
I
said
don't
fuck
want to
them
leave.
kids. I didn't want to choose the kids. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
That's a good man. That's a good man.
Our real relationship tested because he knew I was willing to die for my two twins before I just give up on them. And he would not talk to me for a couple of days because he was like, I'm not going to lose my wife over something I don't even know or haven't seen yet. And I was like, you don't understand. But now to this day, my twin boys are wonderful. And even when they were born, it was a 50-50 for 6 months in the NICU, and then hospital appointments and therapy. And that's when we found out like who was really there for us and who wasn't there for us. And my whole family like completely shut out. They was happy. They was hoping my kids died. It was a bunch of stuff. And I think for me, oh yeah. And for me, it was just like, this is the only person that showed me what true love was. Why would there's not a soul on this earth can tell me different about him. And I always think about the blueprint. A blueprint don't just happen 1, 2, 3. Like they say, 3 years, you make a certain amount, going on to the next 5 years, this happens, and it's so on. Like it's a blueprint. Like they make it about 10 years. And you got to understand that the same thing with crawling for a baby. Like they're sitting up, they're crawling at 6 months. It's a process. Everything is a process. And I think a lot of females that get bored, or a lot of females that have a certain way of getting used to getting what they want right away, don't understand that process, especially in the man. Like the world is already hard on the man as it is now, especially black men. I don't care what nobody say. They are. I can't say they are for females. They're not, especially not now. They're definitely not from females. I think the world even trying to steer it around for females to date white men or be married to a white man. And really, I feel like they're just going to eventually take over that woman's business, whatever, to that nation. But that's just my own belief. I feel like black women should be with black men, and they should build that way. I really feel that way.
Man, I love this story, man. I really think it ties into Ayo's sister story as well, because the outside noise could really mess up your relationship. Like, let's just say if Ayo's sister would listen to him instead of her husband and what they talked about in private, they could have got a divorce. Same with Sophia and Bam Bam. If she listened to her mom, I'm guessing sister, family members, they could have got a divorce. So, at the end of the day, if we want to keep families together, you got to find somebody who you really love, somebody you trust in their vision. Y'all have conversations in private. Y'all do what you got to do. Because this is similar to Tyrese and his wife's situation. She was listening to all her friends, people outside of the marriage, and that's why they got divorced. So, at the end of the day, we want to keep families together. Of course, you got to find that your person. Y'all got to have that conversation. Y'all just need to stick to each other and not listen to the outside noise. And as a woman, once you get married, same for both. That person is your number one. Your mom is not your number one no more. Your wife or your husband is number one.
Mm-hmm.
Then your mom is your number two, or your kids, then your mom, whatever. However your situation is, everybody's different. But at the end of the day, once you get married, whoever you get married to is your new number one, not your sister, not your parents, not your brother, whatever. And I think a lot of marriages these days is not really like that no more. Like, people still think their mom is their number one woman in their life. Whatever their mom say goes. If your mom, y'all get in an argument, of course you go talk to your mom. She said this, she said that. Well, son, you may want to just leave her. That's not the right guy. And I think that's why the divorce rate is rising. That, and there's a lot of other things too.
I have never done that. My mother, when she was alive, I never, ever, it didn't even occur to me to talk to my mother about any problem I was having at all with my wife. Okay, that never happened. That didn't even occur to me.
Nor did I go to my parents for any marital situation that we were having. But I also want to say this, though. There's a lot of talk in the air about finding the person or finding your person. And I think sometimes there's not enough emphasis on being the person.
Oh, Lord.
Everybody want to find somebody. They're looking for you. What are you bringing to you need to clear up your stuff. You need to be the person and not just be looking for what's out there, but what are you bringing to the table? Who are you? Are you fully formed? Are you anchored? Do you have a vision?
My God.
Talk about it.
Yeah. Do you know Jesus?
When you're fully formed, you're less likely to fall into some of the pits that we have talked about, or that you guys have talked about. And so I really think that we should spend a little bit more time encouraging people to understand themselves, develop themselves, a commitment to growing and being the best version of themselves, so that everybody is looking for something, but when you find it, what are you finding? And some of us have to be worthy to be found. You're not just out there looking for gold, but you need to be gold yourself.
Yeah, that's a fact. We got together so early, it was a little bit different, but our hardest transition has been in this business world has been like when I failed a bunch of times at the beginning, she had to learn how to let me fail and let me fix it and not criticize my every fail and say, well, you lost the money, because I done lost some money doing this thing. But we wouldn't have had the money. But over time, she started learning, like, if I mess up or I don't do something right, she wasn't pressuring me like, oh, you got to get it back. You got to get it back. She says, is there anything I can help you with? Do you need my help? Okay, well, I'm going to take the kids. We're going to go do something. And if you need anything, just give me a call. I got you. But she allowed me that space to fix my stuff. And, a lot of people, they get behind your ear. And you ain't going to fix nothing with somebody picking behind you. So it take a lot to do this together. You can be successful by yourself. You can be successful together. But in a relationship, if anybody is successful in your relationship, it's because of both people. Because it's so much on the table.
That's so powerful. How do you deal with that? I want to speak to some of my entrepreneurs. I know we got Darby, we got AO, OT, Daniel, Don Daniels in here, O in here as well. When you are an entrepreneur looking to grow a business or looking to just grow in general, right? But you're doing a relationship at the same time, right? And I got to get Sophia's take on this too. Man, like you're going to fail, right? You're going to lose some money. And a lot of people don't talk about that part. We only talk about the wins. What does those conversations sound like when we taking L's and we having to figure it out, right? What does that respect look like then when it's not going so good?
You got to talk about the time too, time commitment.
All right, I'm gonna just say
that's a major thing in dating.
I'm gonna just say something small. I'm gonna just harp on trust. We have more trust on things that are not inside of our household than we do inside of our household. You're trusting that the cameras that you spent $1,000 on will work, right? But you get pissed off when they don't work. You be like, damn, I just spent $1,000 on this thing. We trust that YouTube is going to operate right. We trust that everything outside of the world is supposed to operate right. But when it fails, you don't have nobody to hold accountable when it don't work. But when the person that you are living with, that you're doing life with, fails, you're giving all them the grief, all them the frustration, all that. But you have more trust on your job to keep you employed than you do for your significant other, whether it's husband or wife, to support you and hold you down in the household and grow. What does your true morals lie? So that's where we speak of the world and not being of the world. So when you're doing a relationship, you have to make sure that your foundation is solid enough to where no matter what happens between you and your significant other, as long as they're doing right to take the family and the household forward, you got to know that there's going to be bumps in the road. You got to know that there's going to be money lost. There's going to be failures. There's going to be things that looks like, hey, I'm not supposed to be here. I'm not supposed to have this type of life. But if anything, what COVID taught us, outside the world can get swept right up from under you in a heartbeat and you don't know it. And now you have to adjust. So just like what Bam and Sophia was saying, is like, okay, he failed and he lost money. She wasn't there to nag him. She was like, okay, cool. I caught you. I see you was falling. I'm going to hold you. Let me hold you up. How do I support you? Because you wasn't doing anything to harm us. You just messed up along the way. So that's where our relationships in these days are failing, because they don't have any solid foundation of trust to go forward in the future.
I want to hear.
I seen something in the chat with that too, man.
Hey, yo, real quick. I got to get your take on this. Are you seeing? Just keep it real now. You know what's your take on? You know, here's the thing. Do you see the woman like what Bam Bam was just talking about, where she is supportive in times of failure, nurturing in times of loss and financial constraints? Are you seeing that in the real world? Are you seeing that in the real jungle of the dating market? And also, what's your thoughts on dating while building and potentially failing? What's your thoughts on that?
So in my space, man, in the real world, I would say yes and no. I'm seeing, especially our black sisters, man, they hang in there, but there's a time frame on the hang in there when it comes to dating, right? So he can go through one issue, and I think she's going to be like, all right, I'm not going to bounce. Let me see how he bounces back, and if he bounces back. And then if issue number 2 comes up, then they're a little skeptical, right? They're fading out of the balance. But I also believe that I think that men, y'all, like and I'm gonna say something that's gonna be controversial. Chat's gonna flare up. I'll take with it. NW's in the chat going crazy right now. I love it. But I think the reason why some of us men are failing and continuing to fail is because we refuse to listen to the significant other that we've chose. I think that ladies have the strongest spirit of discernment. I think they can see things that sometimes men cannot see. And I think sometimes we could be so prideful that I got this. But if your wife, if your woman who you've decided to do a partnership with is saying, babe, I don't know, I do believe that sometimes we do fail a lot because we refuse to listen to the wisdom and the knowledge that comes from our other half. And so I think that some of our ladies quit, but then some of them quit because that man just refuses to listen. And I think that and again, I know this is not a spiritual show, but I'm just a spiritual, practical person. If that's my wife, if everything on the inside of her is for me and she senses something is off, it deserves at least a pause, not a stop, but a pause to hear what she may say. And let me look into that so I can figure out, like, wait a minute, if this is a true partnership, if we're building legacy together and she has a pause or a hey, I don't think this works, as a man, again, you know what I'm saying? Let me step aside and be like, all right, babe, let's talk about it some more. But then at the same time, it goes back to what my brother just said, that I can pause, but if I still move forward, I need you to trust us, trust me, trust what we're doing moving forward, and don't doubt me. I forgot the second question that you asked, bro, but I do believe that there are a lot of, especially black sisters, it's proven. I mean, they know how to stick around for a while, but now in the dating world, they're not going to stick around that long. But once you're married, yeah, that wife, she ain't going too far, man, you know, until you get it back on.
Hey, that's a fact, Ayo, because I failed not listening to my wife, and she still allowed me the mindset to fix it. Because she told me don't do what I did. I did it anyway.
Yeah, man. And I think Bam Bam too, again, you're married. I'm not married. I'm just speaking from a financial perspective, right? That when I'm sitting down and I'm coaching couples on money, I could tell when a wife was like, I told you not to do that. And now look at us. Now we're struggling. And now we got to go borrow money and go get our family into more debt because you didn't want to have a conversation with me. And I think there is a healthy balance to what my brother said earlier. There has to be trust in the family. But then also, brothers, we got to trust our significant other and trust that if they sense something, hey, don't stop. Don't completely throw it away, but trust the wisdom and the guidance that's inside of your significant other and see, okay, look, let's just have a conversation about it. And I can say this respectfully. I think I've said it before. I think that's one reason why my father never really surpassed my biological mother, because my stepfather wanted to have a full-time job, but then have a business on the side. And my mom be like, no, that's not your gift. No, that's not your talent. It's not going to work. And he pursued something with my mom telling him it wouldn't work. And today he gets it. Today he don't make a move without my mama. But in his younger days, in his 30s and late 20s, that's all he did. And they wasted a lot of money and borrowed a lot of money. And that put the family back. And so my mama didn't leave him, though. You know what I'm saying? To Byron's question, she didn't leave him because that's her husband. She loves him. She's like, Bam Bam's wife. But at the same time, please believe it did cause some issues in the family. And I think that sometimes brothers, and it's easy for me to say this as a single man because I'm not married. So all y'all married people can correct me, please, if I'm wrong. But I think I think life would be better if we could just learn how to check our pride a little bit and just trust our spouses.
You ain't wrong at all. You ain't wrong at all, because women are multipliers and they're executors. We're visionaries.
Facts. We got a question in it.
We got intuition is crazy too.
Yes,
their intuition is on point, and we don't have that.
That's a fact. True Hunt put a comment in here. I want to get Sophia's take on this. He says, told my BFF to leave her boyfriend years ago. Today, she's taking care of him and his son in her home as 100% breadwinner because he quit his job to start a business and hasn't started yet.
And why is it her business anyway?
What's your take on that, Sophia?
It ain't in your relationship and you worried. You need to worry about your own relationship. I bet you single as a mug.
What's your take on that one right there, Sophia?
Well, again, I'm a caretaker, so I would probably still take care of them. But to be honest with you, he probably need a push. He probably needs that confidence that he can start the business. Because if it's been a year and he hasn't started the business and the son is now involved, he just need a push. There's something that's not right. And she, as a person, if that's your person that you've been with and you're agreeing and you're okay with whatever is coming about now, and it's been this long, well, you need to maybe try to do something different to see if it'll help push the situation, because sometimes that's all men need is you to support them, even if it comes down to like every all the businesses that we have. No matter what, my husband, when he first did it or wanted it, it was like, okay, what can I get right now to let you know? Because I mean, yeah, your word is just your word, but I want to show you action. Let me see what I can do. Like even for the gym, I'm like, all right, let's get these gloves. These gloves came already. Let's get the bag. His bag came already. He was like, what you said you wanted to do this, so let's do this. So I'm gonna make sure we get some of the things we need to get that it makes sense. That's why I asked you which one was good. Do you think this is good? He don't even know that I'm asking him because I'm actually purchasing what will help. And I keep all the books and all the receipts for it. Sometimes they just need a push. And you can't down them for them, because at the end of the day, what are you making different for that to still be the same thing? What are you doing? Questioning yourself about it. What are you doing to help him get there? Because you're making him comfortable to the point where he don't feel like he gotta hurry up and do it.
Yeah, I said something about real estate. He signed up for a seminar. After that seminar, we had our first $200,000 a year.
And then that's when we met, Mike.
Can I be real?
Yeah, let's be real.
Not every man's gonna get a wife like Bam Bam's. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
I found her.
You out there in the wild. He out there.
You know what I'm saying? Because Miss Lynch, she's special. You know what I mean? But There are not too many black sisters, Bam Bam. You done found that one. You know what I'm saying? You better lock that down, brother. Go to the grave with that, because I don't know too many daughters, too many sisters, too many black women who are going to be like Bam Bam. Because my first thought is, why in the heck do you care about someone else's relationship and you single? That's my first thought. It's like, you single, but you worried about her happiness. If she's happy being the provider and the caregiver, you should be happy. This is my thing within my friendship. I don't give unsolicited words of encouragement. If you don't ask me my thoughts, I'm not giving you my thoughts. Because if you're happy, I'm going to be happy. The last thing I need to be doing is stressing and thinking and talking about another house when I got my own house to worry about. So if Bam Bam and his wife is happy, I'm happy. Bam Bam, get it, bro. Get it. You know what I'm saying? Now, if Bam Bam come to me like, bro, what you think? I'm like, hey, listen, man, this is not biblical advice. This is not expert advice. I don't know if I would do this or I would do that. But listen, do not allow my words to impact your home, because I'm not paying your bills if y'all get a divorce. I'm not going to be there if y'all get into a fight and you got to leave at 2:00 in the morning. I'm going to keep it a buck with you. So I think we got to be very careful on how we give advice, because if I give advice, right, and this is how I roll with my family, if I give you advice and that advice impacts your situation, I'm held liable for that. I'm gonna help you get out of it. And so I don't give advice unless I'm willing to back up what I said, which is why I back up what I say about money. But outside of that, bro, I think a lot of us respectfully need to shut up. Especially if we single. How you gonna give a person who's happy, there's something that's keeping her in a relationship, how you gonna give her advice and you ain't even happy? I'm gonna be quiet. Let me shut up, man.
And can I say something? I do want to, I'm not correcting nobody, but I know that our mouth is powerful. When you guys say that we fell or guys fell in a situation, like even that I told my husband, it's not fell, it's a lesson learned. You're learning the process as you're going through it, even with the money situation of us losing money or whatever. I look at it, I said, well, we didn't have it. So it's not nothing to be worried about. Especially when you already know that this right here is an investment itself, you can make it. So that right there should not, you should not always stay on that or stay that you fail. Is really a lesson learned.
It ain't no lesson learned until you fix it, and then teach it. Now it's a lesson. It can't be no lesson, right? Like if you lose, it's a loss until you find out how you lost, you fix it, and then you teach it to someone. That's when it becomes a lesson.
That is true.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it.
Whole lot of black love in here, man. I love this.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, bro. I love it. Listen, I just want to say this has been a fruitful conversation.
I want to say, man, y'all need to like the video because this show's going nuts.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see what the likes at, brother. I'm trying to see what the likes at.
The likes in the trash can. Can we get the likes out of the trash can and like on the shelf somewhere? That's what we need, the likes. We need the likes like on the shelf. That's what we need.
So Byron, from what's being said today, what's your biggest takeaway? Being newly married.
I would say this. Number one, my biggest takeaway is that I always want to have a healthy respect for my wife. I always want to honor what her perspective on things. Because I just have a healthy respect for women in my life. And this whole talk of diminishing women, this whole talk of trying to silence a woman's perspective, I think somebody needs to speak against that. I think it's destructive. And I think that is my takeaway from this conversation. Can we minimize the diminishment of women voices? That's what I'm on. What's your takeaway?
Man, I'm not gonna lie, bro. What they were saying earlier, that used to be me. Like my wife, or just women in general, got amazing intuition. Like with partnerships, just go and do some things. She like, Like, she don't like somebody before I even talk about the people. She like, nah, he ain't the one or she ain't the one. Like, God damn, how you know that? I even,
like we ain't had our first meeting yet. What we doing?
We ain't even do that yet. Yeah, we just had one little 20-minute conversation. Damn. Nah, she like, nah. And, back in the day, I'm like, yeah, you don't know what you're talking about. We go ahead and do this. And then something happened, you know what I'm saying? Something failed. If I'd have listened to my wife, that wouldn't have happened. So I had to learn and I had to mature to listen because she have gifts that I don't have. And when we come together, everything comes together, it makes us one. So I had to mature in that regard. If I'd have listened maybe 2-3 times, I wouldn't be where I am now. You know what I'm saying? So that's my major thing. I see Bam Bam and Sophia have that. Bam had to grow through that as well. So I'm not alone in that situation. But I think every man here, if you're married or in a relationship, whatever, most times you got to realize that woman has gifts that you need. And that's the person that really got your back. So why go against the person that really got your back and got the best interest at heart? Just because you have an ego, you want to be the man, whatever. But at the end of the day, she wants what's best for both of y'all.
Yeah, that ego is that ego needs to evolve. That male ego needs to evolve to a different space, in my opinion. What's your take on? What was your takeaway, AO, on this one, man?
Man, I think it's simple, man. Something that I've been practicing like the last few months. Stay out of the comments and don't allow outsiders to direct your direction. Oftentimes I think that people think that their way is the best way, like this foolishness that True Hunt is talking about in the comments right now. I think that we oftentimes have so many opinions about other people, and then we haven't even really sat in the mirror and looked at ourselves and given ourselves opinions about our life, about what we're doing. But we're quick to crucify, judge, and be opinionated about someone else's. And so for me, just listening in and reading throughout your followers' comments, man, it's funny how it's like, wow, like we are very, very opinionated. This is why I date in private, which is why I tell everyone, like, hey, man, if you and I are going to date and pursue a relationship and pursue marriage, you're not a secret, but we ain't telling the whole world, because I don't want the whole world's opinions I don't even take them around my mom and my dad, for a period of time, my family. It's like, what are you and I building? Let's you and I build a foundation. Let's you and I get on the same page, the same vision, like Bam Bam and his wife. And we don't care what outsiders say. And I'm going to respectfully say this. When the moment I get married, my parents, my family become outsiders, because now it's my responsibility to take care of my wife and my children if we have children. It's not my responsibility to take care of my mom, my dad, my brother, my sister, my followers on my platform. No, my now number one ministry and responsibility is my wife and my kids. And I'm with Bam Bam. I'm choosing my wife over my kids all day long. There is no ifs, ands, or but. I told God, till death do us part. I told God with my kids, I raise them in a way that they should go. Go means they leave. My wife is with me forever. So we have to learn to cut out the outside so that one day I can get to Bam Bam, O'Neal, and Byron's beautiful situation, which is marriage. And to TC Hunt, you actually T Hunt, whatever you said, you actually made a real good point. Single people are very happy. We are very happy. I'm very happy, but I'll be honest, I'm happy. I'm joyful, but I'm also excited about getting married, and I desire marriage. And so I'm not going to sit here and talk about another married couple who is happy and trying to get them to be single while I'm happy. That's selfish as heck. I'm going, man. I got to get back to work, yo. I love y'all. God bless you. Bam, Bam. Beautiful, your beautiful wife, man. Love y'all. Thank y'all for blessing me this morning. Y'all gave me hope in this black love out here. You know what I mean? So I appreciate y'all, man. Y'all keep it locked, man, for real.
Absolutely. Darby, man, what's your thoughts, man?
Yeah, man, you was married before and you single now, man. You got both sides, brother. Let us know.
That one of my first mentors, man. Darby helped us so much in business too. Give a shout out to him.
I appreciate that. But slide note, AO, I'm picking up what you put down because there's some sad and desperate people in that comment section. I'm gonna just say this, man. People choose what they want to choose. They go where they want to go. But don't judge, don't be pissed off, don't have your own opinion about what somebody does. Like, I'm so tired of the damn rhetoric of how somebody else's relationship should go. I don't wake up in the morning to tell you how to put your drawers on, how you put your clothes on, or what may have you. Don't live your life through somebody else's lens. Like, let them live. So I find marriage beautiful between a man and a woman. I find marriage joyous. I find it a safe place for kids. I find it, wholesome. Whether you're in the church or not, just like get around a collective of those who have the same vision and mindset as you that want to see you propel in life. When you got powerful thumbs and all you can do is comment on what your opinion is rather than correcting yourself and living life the way you want to live, do you find yourself in a desperate hole of isolation and judging others? Find out what makes you. Go live that life, whether it's a job or not, whether it's a relationship or not, and propel. Stop judging others and make sure that you're doing what's designed for you. Period, point blank.
Love that. Gotta hear from the married couple now. Y'all was the stars of the show today.
Yes, indeed.
Nah, man, I could care less what anybody think. I could care less if they want to be happy in their life or what they think about my life. I'm living my life for me, my wife, and not my kids, but they are the benefactor of my decisions that I make today. They get the benefits from it, but I'm not living for them. I'm living for my wife. We finna have fun. We had kids early. We sacrificed early, and now we 33 and we got 17-year-old and our kids about gone. So all my decisions are based on us doing better in life. I want us to grow and prosper and have fun. We are gonna be irresponsible in a couple of years. That's what I am looking forward to. I have never had a paycheck in my life without having a child. So I've never not been responsible.
Wow.
It's just part of the game. So I worked my whole life. I seen somebody put in the comments, they said, oh, 4 kids and you lost money with one income? Because I'm built different. And guess what I did? I went out. I said, okay, I lost this money. What I'm gonna do? Shit, I started a detailing service and made like $2,000 in a week. And that wasn't a full-time thing. I just had to get some money back. Man, I'm gonna get it no matter what. I don't need no pity from my mistakes, and I also don't need you to be happy when I'm successful because you aren't the reason I'm doing this. She is, and I am. It don't bother me.
Hey, Bam, tell them what your son just received coming out of high school.
What's that?
Tell them what your high school football quarterback son just received.
Just received?
Yeah.
Oh, you talking about his offers?
Some full ride offers to go play quarterback.
Yeah, he got some full rides to go play quarterback, and we had a kid in 9th grade, and he also is the number 2 quarterback of all times in passing yards at that school, and he didn't get to play but 1 year. So he only got to start 1 year because of coach's son and all that, but it is what it is. But nobody can still dim his light. You can't let nobody dim your light. Every time you get an opportunity to be successful, you got to knock it out of the park. It don't matter. You just got to knock it out.
Well, I can honestly say, one, why focus on what anybody say? They're going to judge no matter what. Actually, it's good for them to judge because, they're paying attention. There's something in there. They're hearing it. 2, at the same time, they judge God. So it's no difference from anybody else. I always stay focused and not on what anyone say, but focus on the blueprint. And that's why I feel like females or women, whoever, that even men, whoever is in that house, you're keeping the focus that the world is doing to that person, or whoever, you're keeping the focus to tell them, hey, it's okay. We're not focused on that. Let's bring it back because they're still not stopping what you got going on, no matter what it is at all. So continue to work and do what you do and move forward from there, because at the end of the day, they're watching. They're going to see your fail, your goods, your higher, when you down, up, and all that. They're going to see it, and it's okay as long as you continue to move forward and keep going.
I love it. I love it.
Yes, indeed.
Yes, man. I just want to say,
situation, man.
Yeah, man. I just want to say, man, we got a wonderful show coming up on first time home buyers, and I'm excited about that. Because
next Thursday, right? Next Thursday.
Yeah, it'll be next Thursday. We're gonna be talking about first time home buyers. Why it's so important is because there's so many tools and resources out there for people to start building wealth and putting themselves in the best position, and not just build wealth in a way where you're, as a solitary component, but also put yourself in the best situation in terms of being able to get that debt at a cheaper price. And that is something that's a new phenomenon that we're witnessing take place. And a lot of us have not been privy to. A lot of us haven't been privy to that. Right. And so we're going to be definitely diving deep on that. I think everybody, whether you own a home or you own several homes, you need to make sure that you're in the building when we had that conversation on first time home buyers, because the things that you're going to hear, I can promise you've probably never heard of before, because there's a lot of tools and things that are available for the people to set themselves up for true financial success if done correctly and implemented properly. So, I can't wait to have that conversation. What's your thoughts on that, O?
I'm excited as well because, at the end of the day, we need to learn how to buy houses right. We need to know exactly what we're doing. Stop moving off emotion, move up with intelligence. Because when you buy a house off emotion, most times you buy it way more than the true value of it. So we need to know exactly what we're looking at, not putting all our everything we have into our realtors. We need to be educated ourselves and make better decisions for ourselves and our family. Because there's too many times that people buying houses and they buying it way more than it's worth because you fall in love with the house, but you don't even think about the numbers. You don't think about you overpaying. You know what I'm saying? So we need to move right, get more educated, and I'm definitely excited about it because we're going to learn how to use the same money that we have to pay off the house faster. Like, why would you want a mortgage on your house if you don't have to have it and you have the same amount of income? And we also need to know that when we get pre-approvals, you may be pre-approved from 200 to 260. Just because it say the 260 number on there, don't mean you can truly afford it. Stick in your area, stick in your lane, and make sure you have money to actually keep the house, take care of the house. That's my thoughts about that. But I'm definitely excited about it.
Absolutely. Man, listen.
Yes, sir.
We're gonna be back Thursday. Make sure you tap in with us.
Time.
And make sure you share it out and hit the like button. Damn it. Yeah, hit the like button.
Yeah, come on, man. We had 100 people and we ain't got 50 likes. Why y'all don't like hitting the like button? It's free, man. It's free. So make sure y'all tune in next Thursday, 6:30 Central, 8 a.m. Make sure, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know every time we live. And look, if you want to be a part of the family, hit the join button next to the subscribe button. They got 3 different levels. They got Trailblazer, Visionary, and Legacy. Whichever one fits with your situation, man. Just click one, join the family, man. We're excited to have you. That being said, man, we out. And
What's
not
up,
hitting the
y'all?
like
Most
button.
people struggle with sales. A lot of us in real estate, and we struggle with our sales. We struggle with follow, we struggle with leads, and we just basically missing out on deals. For me, I just got on Taskify CRM. They send messages out for you. And look, a lot of us have work. When you get off of work, you have hot leads ready for you. Make sure you check out Taskify CRM. I'm telling you, it automatically replies for you. And look, it sends you multiple messages. Like we're talking about drip campaigns, so you're not missing out on the lead follow-up. So make sure you check out Taskify CRM. Use coupon code No Stingy Energy to get 10% off. I'm about to show y'all inside my CRM so I can see how it really works. Make sure y'all check it out. Peace.